What's going on? Jason with Heap of Jeep. Day 2 of the 2.5 engine removal from the Jeep Wrangler. If you missed the first part, I'll put a link in the description below. Basically, I'm going through the factory service manual step by step because I've never pulled an engine out of a Jeep. Figured I'd do it the way they recommend anyways. We're on step 28. That's where I left off last night, disconnecting the fuel line. And let's jump right in. So I left off yesterday popping this clip off. Chrysler made a few different versions of these. Every one I've ever had on a Jeep is this one that takes a tool like this. You can get the plastic ones. I think these are $5 or $10 at Harbor Freight or something, but you can get them just about anywhere. They come in handy for other quick disconnects too, but just verify which one you have before you start messing with it. Alright, step 28 was that. Step 29, if equipped with power steering, which it is, disconnect the hoses from the fittings at the steering gear, drain the pump reservoir, cap the fittings, lift, no. You know what, I think I can just remove that power steering pump from the bracket, zip tie it, or, bungee it over to the side to keep it out of the way, and then I don't have to worry about draining it or anything, so I'm going to try that. One less drain and fill I have to do. Alright, where are we? That was number 29. So number 30, lift the vehicle and support it with stands. Why do we have to do that? We're going to be removing the oil filter and the starter motor, the engine mounts, exhaust pipe from manifold. Yeah, I don't think I need to jack it up for that. There's room under there. So that would mean step 31, remove the oil filter. On the 2.5, the starter's a little different than the 4.0s. You got to come in from underneath. And on this one, it's those weird reverse torques. I don't know if I can do this one handed. Yeah, I don't think I can. I need some more leverage, but you're gonna need that weird reverse torques or whatever the heck it's called, and they come in a bunch of different sizes. So just get yourself a set. They'll come in handy on the Jeeps, but you got to get into the starter from underneath. So with those two bolts removed, it should just come right out. Famous last words, but we'll see. Well, my starter is actually not coming out. It's caught up on that dust shield between the engine and the transmission. I'll deal with that once I get the engine out. So let's just move on. That's not going to hurt anything down there, I don't think. Where are we? Step 33, remove and support cushion to bracket through bolts. I believe that means the engine mounts. So we got to actually raise the engine up from underneath the oil pan, floor jack with a board on it, and take the pressure off it, and then we can remove those bolts. So I'm reading through some of this stuff, and I don't know, it's not making a whole lot of sense to me. It never said anywhere to take off the alternator, but it's going to be a pain in the butt to get to the mount bolt without that. Nowhere does it say to take off the intake manifold or the exhaust manifold, but I think the engine will be so much easier to take out without that stuff attached. So day 2 is a lot of going off script. So I'm going to take the alternator out, then I'm going to take the fuel rail off, disconnect the intake manifold, disconnect the exhaust manifold. That'll give me some more room to work with once I get to this other stuff. So There we go. So look at all that room in there now. Plenty of room. So here's something to keep in mind. I bought new exhaust manifold bolts and studs and things. But these little cupped washers, that one will come off. You need to keep these because the ones that come with the kit, it's a Dorman kit, they're just flat and they won't seal the intake manifold right. So keep the little cupped washers or buy new cupped washers, but the kits you buy don't come with them. Alright, so now it'll be a lot easier to do step 33, remove engine support cushion to bracket through bolts, which again are the engine mounts, I think. I'm trying to make life a little easier with their tools. Step 33 is done. Step 34, disconnect the exhaust pipe from the manifold. Already did that. Manual transmission, that's me. Step 35, remove 2 clutch housing inspection cover bolts and the 2 clutch housing inspection cover bolts / nuts and remove the shield. And then remove the 6 clutch housing to engine block bolts. So I guess we're separating the engine and the transmission at this point. Probably ought to figure out where to hook up the engine mounts to, or the hoist. So in the back there on the driver's side, I just went on the top. I think those are head bolts, and you know, they got the stud sticking out. And up front here on the passenger side, I went through the idler pulley, and that's pretty. It's actually a pretty stout bolt for that pulley, so it's not like it has to support the weight for real long, just long enough to get it out. So I've got the engine hoist hooked up, and the problem I'm running into is I'm hitting the front bumper, and it needs to go about another 8 inches that way, I think. I don't know, it will actually probably help in getting this engine out, but I may have to come up with something to get the new engine in I may have to take off the bumper. The next part, I don't think I'm going to be able to take you along for the ride on this one, because I'm going to be up there underneath, twisted in weird ways. But you got to remove the clutch housing inspection plate, and then on the 2.5 there's 6 apparent bolts holding the transmission to the engine block, so got to get those out. Starter came out with the cover, inspection cover, so we're good. So all 6 bolts are out. The 4 lower ones, the 2 on the passenger side and the 2 on the driver's side, not too bad, little finagling underneath the Jeep, but the top 2, there's one right here, and then there's another one right over there. Those I could not get to save my life until I dropped the engine. I've read a few online saying drop the transmission, drop the skid plate, drop the transmission, it'll lower it enough to get in there with a bunch of extensions. Don't feel like dropping the skid plate, so what I did, I had put the motor mounts back in just to hold the engine up so I could release the tension on the hoist. So what I did is pulled the bolts back out of the motor mounts and then dropped the engine, oh, probably 2 inches. Let me see if I can get that down in there. So that much is what I dropped it. And then I was able to crawl up underneath and get the passenger side one, and then I actually had to jump on the axle and go down from the top to get the right angle for the driver's side one. But they're all out, so on to the next step. Alright, so that was step 37, remove 6 clutch housing to engine block bolts. I call it the bell housing, whether, no matter. But proceed to step 41, because the next few are for the automatic transmission. Step 41, drain the oil. Finally, something easy. So I didn't show you how to drain the oil. I've got plenty of videos on that. Step 42, lower the vehicle. I never raised it, so we're good. Step 43, attach a lifting device to the engine. So we'll hook up the hoist there. Raise the engine off the front supports. Place a floor jack or support stand under the flywheel converter housing. I can do that. And then separate the engine from the transmission. Lift the engine out of the compartment and install on an engine stand. This says install an oil filter to keep foreign material out of the engine, but it's going back as the core for the new engine, so they're going to clean it, magnaflux it, all that fun stuff. So, here we go. I'm actually going to take the thermostat housing off, because when I start lifting, this chain just keeps hitting it, and this is just aluminum, I think. I don't want to crack that, so a couple of bolts. It's got to come off anyways to go on the new engine, so I might as well pull it off now. I'm just trying to get these mounting bolts out, but she's already split from the transmission back there, so we're looking good. So before I can put it on the stand, I've got to zip off the clutch here, clutch plate. So I can take that off real quick. And then the flywheel. There we go. Well, there she is. I don't know what to say about it. I think this was the easy part, right? Putting it in is going to be a little more tricky, lining everything up, but well begun is half done, as Mary Poppins would say. So the new engine should be here tomorrow. We'll see what all we have to transfer, the motor mount brackets, and you know, I got a new water pump, I got a bunch of new stuff. Oil pan goes from this one to the new one, valve cover gasket goes from this one to the new one. So yeah, I got a new clutch, new flywheel, bunch of new parts. So we'll start putting that one together after it gets here, and video 3 in the engine replacement series will be a-coming. Thank you, everybody. Catch you on the next one.